The alien princess burned his house, but he surprised her by saving her 2 daughters. When fire consumes your home, you expect to fight back with fire. But one human showed the galaxy that love, not vengeance, is what truly breaks the cycle of war. War had come to Earth like a storm from the stars. One moment, humanity was debating politics and trade, the next, an alien armada hung in the sky like a second moon. They were called the Zalari, a warrior empire led by princesses who were also generals by bloodline. Their pride was iron, their ships fire, and their doctrine simple: conquer, or be conquered. One such princess was Sereth Valora, commander of the vanguard. She was young by her people's standards but already feared, her name spoken like thunder. And when her fleet descended on the green valleys of Europe, one of the first human settlements to burn was a quiet farmhouse on the edge of a forest. The man who lived there, Daniel Hale, former medic turned farmer, barely survived the flames. His house collapsed into ruin, his fields were ash, and his neighbors scattered into the night. He crawled from the wreckage, coughing soot, hatred burning inside him like a second fire. And then, he heard the crying. Through the haze of smoke, in the wreck of a small Zalari shuttle that had crashed in the chaos, Daniel found 2 small figures. Not soldiers. Not warriors. Children. 2 alien girls, their scales shimmering faintly, their large luminous eyes wet with tears. Their shuttle had been shot down in crossfire, and though frightened, they clung to one another. Daniel froze. His house was still smoldering behind him, the flames the work of their kind. His every instinct screamed at him, leave them. But he couldn't. He thought of the Hippocratic oath he had once sworn, and of the truth he knew too well: hatred begot hatred, war begot war. If he let these children die, what would he become but another reflection of the fire that destroyed him? So, against every bitterness in his chest, he reached out and said softly, "Come on. You're safe now." He carried them through the forest, wrapped in a tattered blanket. They trembled at first, expecting cruelty, but Daniel only offered warmth, food, and a shelter he found in an abandoned barn. Nights passed. The alien girls began to trust him, shyly laughing when he showed them how to make shadow animals on the barn wall with his hands. They shared their strange songs, their voices lilting like wind chimes. But soon, soldiers came. The Zalari were hunting for the missing daughters of their princess. Daniel could have handed them over. He could have sought vengeance and demanded that the princess feel the pain he had felt. But he didn't. Instead, he risked his life to lead them through hidden paths, smuggling them past patrols, until finally he stood face to face with the one who had burned his home, Princess Sereth Valora herself. When she saw him holding her daughters, unharmed, alive, safe in his arms, something in her cracked. She had expected a trap, a corpse, or cruelty. She had never expected mercy. "Why?" she asked, her voice like steel fraying. "Why save the blood of your enemy? I burned your dwelling. I destroyed your world." Daniel met her gaze, tired but steady. "Because fire won't end fire. Because if I had let them die, it would never stop. War would keep breeding war. Someone has to stop the cycle." For the first time in her life, Sereth had no reply. She looked at her daughters, then back at the man whose life she had ruined, and she felt something her people considered weakness but humans called strength: compassion. From that day forward, the war did not end overnight. But something shifted. The story spread of a human who had every reason to hate, but chose to protect. Of an alien princess who found her daughters returned not by force, but by love. And for the first time, councils spoke of a truce. Soldiers hesitated before striking. The fires of war dimmed, not quenched by superior weapons, but by a truth impossible to ignore. Love can do what war never will. Years later, when Daniel rebuilt his farmhouse, he sometimes saw Zalari ships passing peacefully overhead. And sometimes, 2 alien girls, now grown, would visit, bringing gifts from their people. Princess Sereth never forgot him. For in a galaxy drowning in fire, one man had shown her that mercy was not weakness, it was the only way to break the cycle. War creates only ashes. Love rebuilds what fire destroys. Humanity's strength is not only in battle, but in the courage to forgive. Humanity's greatest weapon isn't destruction, it's compassion. If you enjoyed this HFY story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.